I actually don't have a lot of working experience. I've had volunteer experience for the most part, but my only previous thing was, I guess it was customer service, honestly. People do be scary. People do be scary, actually. I already told you guys about it, but for those who did not know, my first time applying for something was because I was just gonna help a friend out. Because, I thought there'd be food at the interview for some reason. It was a very different type of interview. It was kind of like, it was more like a personality test for some freaking reason. I don't know why, don't ask. So, I applied for it thinking, okay, we can both apply for it. I don't expect to get the job. I don't really want it either. Because my parents are always like the type to say, oh, you should focus on your studies. Wait until you finish your studies to get a job. They're kind of those type of parents. But then they'll say things like, why did you get a job? Or like, you know, that person, their kid got a job. It's like, I'm getting mixed signals here. So anyway, I applied to it anyway. My friend didn't get it. And I ended up getting it. I don't know why, actually. I have no idea why I got it. But because my mother said, if you don't get the job, that's okay. But more of like, well, I guess why would you say that? Like, it sounds nice, but the way she said it was a little bit different. It's like, you know, you're not gonna get the job. It's got sort of that vibe, if that makes sense. Like, you probably didn't get it. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna accept the job now if I do get it. And then I got the job, so I accepted it. I don't know, it was weird. Don't worry though, my parents are like a lot nicer now. I mean, I wouldn't know, but it's a lot better now. It's a lot better, yeah. Oh, you know what sucks? Okay, so I had to pretend to be an extrovert for the job, right? I had to pretend. I was like, I'll shake your hand and I'll do all this talk, and it's like, you know, she's a good fit. I fooled them, because once I got in, all the other co-workers were like, oh, well, you're so quiet. Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm quiet. This is the thing called trying to get a job. It's like, you're so quiet. Yeah, because I already got the job, now I don't have to talk. I didn't really make friends there, so the only person that I would have considered as a friend is this like really old guy. He was like those type to ramble. He was the OG tangent master, I guess. He was the OG, guys, but he was always just like talking about random stuff, and we would get paired up every now and then. Actually, yeah, I guess sometimes. He was like, that role was actually kind of boring because on some days you get paired up at a different role, right? But that role with him was actually at least fun because he's pretty nice and all that stuff. And then for the others, they're kind of the type to take advantage. For example, they're like, oh, there's these customers here. I don't want to tell them to leave. They're on a time limit to stay in like each area, essentially. It's like, I don't want to tell them to leave. So they would look at me and keep making eye contact. And then it's like, okay, well, since it's my last day of this job, because I was planning on quitting. It's like, okay, fuck you. In my mind, I'll go kick them out. Like freaking other lazy people. I can't believe it. And you know what sucks? Okay, so there's some lifting involved there too. Every now and then I would have to help lift stuff, right? So there's this you have to take turns lifting. Like, it's supposed to be in a certain order. It doesn't have to be, but it helps because there's other stamina bars for everyone else. So what they would do, they would hide. So they would lift something and then they would stall to come back. And I'm like, you guys suck so much. And I was always there, always being on time. I would like immediately head back. And then I realized like, oh, so this is how the work environment is, huh? So I started to do it too. Not as bad as them though. Okay, at least for me, I hid in the restroom, okay? For them, they would go off to like hang out with the other co-workers that were at different roles, at different sections of the establishment. And I'm like, what the fuck? I know, it's so stupid. And then for that job, I used to go in early because they always had those like the work meetings and whatnot, right? Like you check in, they do a little meeting, they talk about stuff, whatever. I am part-time worker, and I used to go in maybe like 30 minutes early. And you're supposed to check in immediately on time. If you're early, you're not supposed to. Well, let's just say at some point I might have checked in like at least 5 minutes before time. And because I think this is something that people tend to think. I don't know about now. They probably notice over time because I worked there for a few years. If you show up early, they'll assume that you're always early. So if you start showing up at least like just a smidge bit later than the meeting time, right? They won't even notice, I think. Retail sucks. I'm actually very afraid of counting money, to be honest. It's because I get really paranoid about if I miss a few cents or something and all that stuff. Retail is scary. Retail is super scary. Because I remember I worked around the holidays. And the line went out like the door. It was horrible. It was absolutely deplorable. The line was out the door, everyone's going in, and there was like system crashes and all the information I typed in. I had to type in again like 4 times. It was awful. And then I remember there's this one time where there's an issue or something. It's like, sorry, the thing happened. But like, it was my 2nd or 3rd day in the job. And then there's this person who came to me like, this is not how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to do it this way. And I was tired. I was super tired. I just like blankly stared at her and it's like, I was just tired. Retail. Okay, here's the thing I started doing at that job. I prepared months in advance to not work around certain holiday moments. I mean, it helped because I was just a part-time worker. I didn't have to work every day or anything. So I made sure not to work on certain days. Also, I was the type to work on... They always needed help for the weekdays, not weekdays, the weekends, which makes sense. I hated the weekends. The weekends are awful because that's when everyone shows up, right? My favorite days are probably the days of the weekdays. It's like, people got work. Oh, actually, at one time, I think this famous person showed up. I don't remember who it was though, but I'm pretty sure it was a rapper. Yeah, at least I think so. It was some musician. It was some entertainer. Yeah, they rented out the whole place, and it was full of like random ass people I didn't know. So that was kind of neat. I didn't show up until later though, so I didn't work during that time. Thank God too. Thank God. I would not know how to handle that. I don't know who it was actually. Yeah, they rented out the entire establishment. Damn, people with money. Holiday retail? I know, that's terrifying actually. Holiday retail is like super scary. Because you never know when you get someone who has like a stick up their butt. For example, there's this one person who was upset that he had to pay $1. Like he lost his card. He's a premium guest though. He's a premium guest. He didn't want to pay $1. And I'm like, I don't know what to do here. It's like, I'm just following the rules, my dude. So I had to get the staff, the manager, and they were just like, okay. Here you go, sir. Here you go. Before you start, like, you know, having a fit. I already told this story too. There's this one woman. She paid in cash for something, and it's like, okay, I'll go to the cash register to finish the transaction because I already helped escort her with other things and all that stuff, right? She took the money from her boobs. She just reached in, looked down, like kind of, you know, did the motion of the ocean, and it's like, I'll just tell you, she was a little bit on the older side, okay? She was on the older side. She just handed it to me, it's like, here you go. And then like, I took it like a champ, guys! I took it like a champ! I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get this over with. Her money probably had boob sweat on it. I don't know what else. Skin flakes probably. I just took it, did a transaction, washed my hands, came back. Here you go, madam. So I guess I have indirectly touched someone's boob before. Or boobs, plural. I think saying that just gave me a headache.